Things on land are certainly different than things under the sea. I wish I could tell my sisters about everything I've seen. I miss them so much. I can only hope that Prince Eric kisses me by the 3rd day to stay on land. Hi guys, it's Kirby. Welcome to my channel. So today we're going to be doing an Ariel makeup tutorial. If you are interested to see how I achieved this Kiss the Girl Ariel look, then please keep watching. Okay guys, so to start, I've already pulled my hair back into this sexy netting so that whenever we put the wig on, we don't have to go over our makeup and disrupt anything. And to be honest, I really think I'm pulling this look off. I'm just putting that out there. And I've already prepped and done my foundation. I used Makeup Forever Step 1 Base Hydrating Primer. And then I used Revlon Color Stay Foundation for normal to dry in the shade 150 Buff. On to the eyebrows. I'm going to be using Brow Gal, my Brow Gal palette. And Ariel's eyebrows are like a brown, auburny. It depends on what picture you see her in. Sometimes they're like pencil thin black, other times they're a little thicker and they're dark brown. In recent pictures they're red and auburny. So today I'm going to go into the Brow Gal palette and I'm going to be using this light brown shade. And I'm going to be making a pomade out of it just to make it a little bit bigger. And I'm going to be using Urban Decay's Chill Makeup Setting Spray and mixing it with the powder. Now, Ariel has a little bit more of a rounded eyebrow, but I personally just wanted to mimic a natural look, so I'm just going to be using my regular eyebrows, and I'm actually going to probably be rounding out the tops of them a little bit to give them a little bit more of an Ariel look. I want it to look as close to the cartoon as possible. So we are going super au naturel. Now to finish the eyebrows off, because I don't want them to be so brown, I'm going to put a little bit of bright red in them to kind of give it more of an auburny feel. And I'm using this very generic eyeshadow palette. It's Simple Pleasures eyeshadow palette. I think my mom got it for me a long time ago. I'm going to be using that red color down at the bottom, and I'm just actually going to be setting my eyebrows with this red color. It just gives it a little bit more of a realistic feel since Ariel obviously has bright red hair. To carve out and clean up the eyebrows, I'm going to be using Tarte Shape Tape in Fair Neutral on a e.l.f. Professional eyeliner brush. And then with a Micro Beauty Blender, just blend it out. And you really don't want to forget steps like carving out your eyebrows or cleaning them up, because if we're going to be a princess, everything has to be in tip-top shape. Now that our eyebrows are done, I'm going to move on to my eyeshadow. And I am priming my eyes with Tarte Shape Tape in Fair Neutral, blending it out with the Micro Beauty Blender, and setting it with Kat Von D's setting powder in Translucent. Now, like I've previously said all throughout this video, I want to keep it as close to the cartoon as possible. And since Ariel doesn't really wear any makeup, we have to basically do super natural makeup and really define the eyes and make them super big like Ariel's, because they're huge. I'm using one brush, and it is the Morphe M412. 412, area code for Pittsburgh. And I'm going into the Cargo Cosmetics Around the World palette. And I'm starting with the shade London. And I'm taking this just in the crease and a little bit above it. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. I can't even see any of that color. This is an eye makeup that you have to continually build up. When I say it is natural and subtle, girl, in the end, it makes a huge difference. Like, you can definitely tell wearing this eye makeup versus not, but there's a lot of blending and a lot of patience. Once you have built that color up to your desired shade, you're really just trying to create depth. You want your eyes to look more inset and big, so we're just trying to create depth and open the eyes up. We're now going to go into Shanghai, which is that color right there. And we're using that same M412. And now I'm going to lift my head up a little bit, and I'm putting this right in my crease. Again, we're just trying to really get the eyes to look bigger and set a little bit more inside, creating depth, like always. Also, I bring the color from the outside corner to the inner corner, but I definitely concentrate it more on the outside because that's what's really going to open up your eyes. Now to add in some brightness to really open them up, as we continue to talk about, I am going to use this shade Rome, which is basically white. And I am using an e.l.f. Professional Defining Eye Brush, and I'm just putting that all over the lid. And then I'm also going to put that underneath the brow to give it a little bit more of a lift. And you can already see from the before and the after that there is a little bit of a difference in depth and how big my eyes look. It's subtle, but it's definitely there. Okay, our eyeshadow is done. I'm going to leave the liner, lashes, and lower lash line until after we do our contouring and concealing, because in my trial runs I tried to do it all at once and then do my contour and concealing. It was a big mess. Don't want to talk about it again. We're going to contour our face with the Maybelline Fit Me Shine Free and Balance Foundation Stick, and I am using the shade Toffee 330. And so I really want to, again, create an Ariel face, and her face is a little bit more slender than mine. It's not necessarily less round, but it looks a little more slender, probably because she didn't have a 12-pound baby. I'm going to try to make my face look super slender. And so I'm actually going to make, instead of my contour bringing in, I'm actually going to bring it down a little bit more to really elongate my face and to try to give me a little bit more of a skinnier cheekbone and jawline. Just saying. Also, Ariel has a much smaller, turned up, cute button nose than I do. Mine is long and big and terrible. So, with the magic of contouring, I'm going to try and make my nose a little shorter and look a little bit more petite. Now we're going to blend all of that out before I put my highlight and concealer on, because I am terrible at trying to put them both on and then blend it out. So I'm going to be using a Bare Essentials Soft Focus face brush, and I'm just going to lightly blend all of that out. Once your contour is sufficiently blended to your liking, I know it looks really dark, but don't worry because now we're going to go in with concealer. I am going to be using a couple different concealers because, again, Ariel is perfection and I definitely am not. So I'm going to be using Kat Von D Lock It Concealer Cream in L3, LA Girl Pro Concealer in Porcelain, and Tarte Shape Tape Contouring Concealer in Fair Neutral. And I'm going to be using the LA Girl Pro Concealer and the Kat Von D underneath my eyes, and then I'm going to be using the Tarte Shape Tape pretty much for the rest of my face. I'm going to blend out my eyes first before I put everything else on my face, and I'm actually going to be setting it with the Kat Von D translucent setting powder, and you know we're about to bake. Now onto the rest of the face. Now I want to set that, so I'm just going to use an M401, a Morphe M401, and I'm just going to use that Kat Von D setting powder. I'm just going to set that. Now while that's setting, I'm going to move back to the eyes to do liner, lashes, and lower lash line. And I am going to start in the top lash line, and I'm actually going to use the waterline. I'm going to line the waterline with this Sephora Colorful Shadow and Liner in matte black. It's number 17. It's waterproof, which makes it really great to do the waterline, and I'm going to, like I said, just do the top waterline. Now I'm going to line my lower lash line and just really tiny on my upper lash line to conceal some individual lashes that I'm going to be using. And I am probably going to be using a combination of the Tarte Tartist Clay Paint Liner in black and the e.l.f. Cosmetics Cream Eyeliner in black as well with a small angled brush. With that M165, go into the Cargo Around the World palette and use Dublin to set your eyeliner. For lashes, I'm going to just use mascara. I'm going to curl my lashes, use mascara, and then put some individuals on the outer corner of my eye, just again to kind of bring them up and out a little bit more. And I am going to, for mascara, be using Mary Kay Lash Intensity Mascara, and then my lashes, I'm going to be using the Ardell Individuals Medium Black Naturals. Time to brush away the bake and to do a little bit more sculpting with the face. I am going to be using Hoola Light because, again, Ariel doesn't really have a whole like bronzy look to her. I just have a fatter face than she does, I mean, in all seriousness. So I'm just going to take, and wherever I had contoured before, I'm just taking a really large fluffy brush with the Hoola Light. I'm just kind of going back over. Again, just really lightly, although it doesn't look light on camera. And to brush away the bake, I'm using an e.l.f. powder brush and my trusty Amazon palette. And I'm going to use a combination of this banana color and this light color. And for blush, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me blush in 102 Light Rose with a small stippling brush because, again, Ariel doesn't really have rosy cheeks, but in all the pictures for advertisements, she has like really, really pink cheeks, but in the movie she doesn't have any pink at all. But to brighten up the look, and last but not least, before the wig, we have to do Ariel's signature red lip with her red hair. Now, again, one benefit that me and Ariel have in common, or one thing that me and Ariel have in common, is that we both don't have upper lips. Aha! So, that's great. I'm going to be using Lip Sense in Blue Red. And I have Glossy, the Glossy Gloss that you go over top. They also make a matte. But then I was thinking, at first I was going to do a matte lip, but then I was thinking, my outfit is Kiss the Girl, and she doesn't have a voice, and she's trying to get Prince Eric to kiss her. You know that she's been applying that gloss all day, every day to bring attention right here so that she can smooch him and that they can live happily ever after. So I'm going for a glossy red lip because I know if it were real life, Ariel would be like, you want to kiss me now? And once your makeup's all done, change into your outfit. Well, I just put my blue dress on. And then the fun part is the wig! Alright, and now it's the styling of the wig that takes a little bit of effort. Finally found the section that I want to take back. Elastic. And then just and there you have it, guys. This is the Kiss the Girl Ariel. I really love it. I really think that the huge bow and the wig makes it. But I hope you enjoyed this cosplay tutorial. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Please subscribe to my channel for notifications of upcoming videos. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I really enjoyed making this, and I think that it came out beautifully. Thanks, guys.